Hello, my name is Robert Taylor. On BandHub, I go by Surferbeto. It's a nickname I got on a surf trip in Mexico one time, where Beto was one of the really common nicknames down there. Anyway, everybody's taking a turn doing a little soapbox confessional here on the occasion of the untimely demise of our beloved BandHub, so I thought I'd try to keep it brief. I'll see how well I do at that. You know, I could rattle off a list of a bunch of names of people and give shout outs to them all, but I'm not going to do that because, well, one, I think I'd be kind of boring and I might possibly say something inappropriate and equip, but moreover, for some reason my stats page in BandHub hasn't been working for months. I log on there and, it says, are you a brand new user? We'll get some data on you tomorrow, but then tomorrow there's still nothing there, so I don't really exactly know who my top collaborators are, though I could probably guess a few of them. Anyway, you guys are all awesome, and I have enjoyed collaborating with everybody, and I'll just leave it at that. But I thought I'd make some kind of general statements about my observations of BandHub in our community because, whatever, it's the filter I see the world through. I found out about BandHub by way of what I'm pretty sure was a fake invitation. I think the BandHub folks were kind of marketing themselves at one point by going through YouTube and finding YouTubers who appeared to be into songwriting or song playing and then hitting them with I got this invitation from a fictitious person to come over and collaborate on BandHub, and I'd never heard of BandHub, so I came over and I couldn't find anything written about BandHub either out when I was searching on the net. There wasn't a whole lot out there. I found one article about whether it was malware or not. They thought it wasn't. That's good. So I got in here, and once I was in, like wow, I met some terrific people right away, and I asked them if I could play or sing with them, and they said yes, and then I sent them stuff, and they listened to it and said they liked it, and it was like wow, and we sounded good together, and it was really cool. I was off and running. I found out over time that a lot of folks on BandHub were recovering from something, sickness, bad accidents, surgeries. Me too at one point, actually. I had to have emergency surgery last year when my appendix went south on me, and I was laid up for a while. And had a lot of time to record on BandHub during that period. Folks have got a lot of stories, and people carry on with a lot of dignity through a lot of shit going on in their lives, and I admire people for that. It makes this place kind of feel very real to me sometimes. The whole purpose of BandHub is to foster emotional intimacy through music, really. I mean, that's kind of what it's about. We really open up our inner lives when we invite other people to help us express our feelings through musical collaborations. And so naturally, we all get pretty emotionally invested in the people here pretty quickly. It's perhaps not surprising that we kind of form such friendships here in a relatively short time, because that's kind of what we're all here to do. When I first got on, I really had to develop a relationship even with the camera. I was not familiar with being on camera in any context, we come here and we confess our souls to these invisible audiences behind a blank camera lens. Right now you can see me, but I can't see you. And that was kind of weird. It took a little getting used to. I've got a little more comfortable talking to cameras since then, but, and then I figured out pretty quickly, of course, that, we take turns. Tomorrow it's going to be you who can't see me, and I'm going to be watching you. So we get pretty comfortable with it, and I feel like I've, learned potentially useful skills that way, I guess, maybe, I don't know. I did a recording in a thing called Jam in the Van a couple of years ago, and they put big cameras right up in my face, and it was like, whoa, I never experienced that. That was just before I got on BandHub. I probably would have done better if we did that this year. Anyway, another thing is a lot of us record late at night, especially people who have kids. For some of us, it's the only time in really busy lives that we can get a little time to our own, and some of us are bona fide insomniacs. Put that out there, but however it may be, we're often working towards these projects, in the wee hours of the night. What F. Scott Fitzgerald called the dark night of the soul. That time of day, the emotional defenses you maintain in the daytime sometimes slip. The masks come off and emotional defenses fail. It's hard to sustain the lies that we tell ourselves in the daytime in the wee hours of the morning. And if I can't lie to myself, I sure can't lie to you. It feels very real here. It's not hard for me to show up with a lot of emotional authenticity because I could scarcely do otherwise. And moreover, the people here are really cool. I met a lot of really warm, welcoming people here, which kind of makes it feel safe to tell people how you're feeling. there's no trolls here at all. You kind of take that for granted after a while. No flame wars ever. No snark. Politics are left at the door. It's just like, whoa, let's jam. That's really, really cool and very different than some other online communities I've been a part of down through the years. Of course, it goes without saying that people here are good musicians. I mean, some are really good, and some are more about feeling than technique, and some are just starting to find their voices, and everybody kind of finds their level. And I think most of us have gotten better through this interaction. You get a lot of practice, and you have a lot of incentive to improve, and you've got good feedback coming to you and from people who kind of are paying attention, and that's great. That's one of the really, really cool things about this place. It's one of the things I think I'm going to miss a lot. And well, we're not going to miss it because we're going to carry it on another platform, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. This may seem a little hippie trippy. I'm not really that hippie trippy, but I'll just go there anyway. I once had a cassette tape of some guy playing old folk songs, and I can't remember who he was, but they're cool songs, some of them, But on the liner notes, he said that songs are alive, literally alive, and I thought that was kind of cool and kind of hokey. And but I think over the years, I've kind of come to understand that it's really a lot more literally true than I thought. I mean, a song is an expression of feeling by a living person, and songs can speak to you across centuries. We figured out a way to write them down. These little squiggles on a page can represent a song that was written 300 years ago, and you can play it and feel moved by it. And, they're part of the behavior of living people. They wouldn't be alive without living people. And we literally breathe life into them when we sing. I mean, you give voice to a song, you were breathing into it. There's this line in about the second chapter of Genesis, I think. It says, "And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life." Ooh. That's kind of what songs really are. There's no singing without breath. Songs are breath shaped inside the body of a living person. That's kind of intimate. And then you put it out there and it goes to other people and it moves them. It's pretty amazing, really. I mean, that's why we do this. I never quite get over the wonder of it. It's really something. People aren't the only ones to do this. Some old guy said, "I must all be folk music. I never heard the cows singing anything. Har, har," and that's a great little line, but the birds do. Let me show you something. Here, check this out. My mother-in-law passed away this fall, and we've been clearing out her house, and we found this old picture in the garage. And here it is. Maybe you've seen this picture before. The reason you might have seen this picture before is because we looked it up, and they used to sell these in the Sears catalog back in the 1920s. And you could buy them. This little girl could come with different colors of hair. She could get the hair of the color of her kid and stuff like that. She's looking at a bird. But I read about this a little bit and thought about it a little more. The guy who painted this picture was representing his daughter, and his daughter is blind. If you look carefully, this child's eyes are closed. She's not looking at that bird. She's listening to its song. Some people thought that was kind of creepy, and they made a version of this with the eyes open, but I think that actually makes it cooler, that she's blind and listening to songs. One of the best birders I've ever met was this guy I went to college with. The best birder he ever met, he said, was a blind person. They really tune into the songs. So I guess my point is, other animals make songs too. And if you go back in evolution far enough for birds and our lineage merge, you're way back. Songs are an ancient kind of thing. Moreover, dead people don't sing. I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but dead people don't write songs. They don't cheer at concerts, and they sure don't dance. We've got lots of art of dead people dancing, but that's just art. Only living people with songs in their hearts can do that. That's us. And I hate to break it to you, but we are only temporarily alive. So it's really up to us to make each day a good one. We've got recently departed friends from here who can't sing anymore and can't dance anymore. And their experience should remind us all that life is dear and that the future is not promised to any of us. So don't get morbid about it. Just get up every day and make it a good one. Sing for them because they can't. Keep the songs alive in your heart. Feed them by giving them voice. Keep them alive, and they'll do you a favor of helping to keep you alive too, because music kind of does that. I got these old songbooks, like these Hal Leonard songbooks of songs every decade of the 20th century, and I found out that it was really fun to play songs from way before my time with like my parents and my grandparents and folks of those generations. And when those folks got old and ended up in assisted living situations and things near the ends of their lives, I'd take my guitar and my songbook over there, and we'd get a lot of joy. We'd play these old songs that were the soundtrack of their lives that were from way back. And even Alzheimer's patients are moved by this. The movie Coco is all about that. If you haven't seen that yet, watch it. It's kind of got a special emotional resonance for musicians, I think. But one thing I've done recently is I've made songbooks for family members who died. Here, this is my father-in-law. He died a couple of years ago, and I made this songbook for him. He sang a lot, and so we collected some of the songs that he liked, and I made a book of them. And then I did this kind of Pete Seeger-like sing-along ice cream social event at his place where he used to live, and got everybody singing. And Pete Seeger was right. Everybody wants to sing. You just have to give them permission. And we sang every song in that book, con mucho gusto, and it was something. And then last year, my mother-in-law passed away, and we did it for her. And here's her songbook. This one's got even more songs in it. And some of them I had to transcribe. Most of them I was able to find somewhere. And these books are just full of great songs that you and I have not yet made collabs of, but I think we need to do some, and I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of good songs out there that we haven't gotten around to yet. And so I'm looking forward to us taking this to a new platform. Folks are saying our jams or BandLab. Those are two we're kind of checking out right now. There may be others. I'll tell you, none of us are getting any younger, but the technology is only getting better, right? And I really believe that it might just be the case that our BandHub, this community's best years are yet to come. Maybe we'll have platforms that have awesome sound and better controls and good. Well, the camera's so good that you can see all the lines on your face. I'll have to go recording in dim light. I don't feel self-conscious. Anyway, so if you haven't done so yet, I really encourage you to, register on one of those platforms and stay in this game and stay with us, because goes without saying perhaps, but I'll say it anyway. This is a special bunch of people. This doesn't happen all the time, and it's a very selected bunch of people. And we've gone around the whole world and selected people who really care about music in a certain way. And this is a community worth preserving, and more of it's gonna be fun to do it. These are the people I care about. I've made a lot of really good friends here, and people my age don't make new friends in their towns that often. Really, I've got friends from previous places. They live all over the world. But damn, I've made a whole lot of really good friends on this thing. I've only been here 2 years. It's really something. This is quite a rich and awesome human community. And okay, I guess I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Okay. So keep the faith, stick around, and I'll see you guys over on the other pages. Maybe we can sing some of these cool songs once we figure out how to work the controls. Okay, that's all. I'll check you guys later. Bye.